All right, made it. Welcome everyone. Welcome back to the Tuesday night YouTube live. I just made it within like seconds. So I actually, a little bit of backstory. I think a lot of you guys know this, but I'm very, very, very well. If there's anything that I'm most proud of, it's my family. And, I've got a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter, an awesome son. And, and if you follow me on social media, you know that my son, loves to hunt and fish. And he actually, and I won't spend too much time on this because I know you guys are here to learn, talk stocks and stuff. So you're not here to hear my diary, but, pretty cool. So he's been working all summer, actually running fiber optics like data. He's outside digging all day, doing data cabling, like internet cabling. It's hard work, man. It ain't easy. And then he gets home, goes fishing. Literally, my mom and dad and his grandparents love to eat like panfish. This might be a Midwestern thing or a hillbilly thing, but panfish are what you would call like a perch or a bluegill. They're the really good fish that you kind of fry up in like small fillets, and they're awesome. Great freshwater fish. So anyway, he goes, fishes for 2 hours, catches his grandma and grandpa who love to eat fish, a fresh batch of fish, takes them to them, then hauls butt home so that I can get him in the boat and drop him in the lake, and he's fishing right now. So anyway, long story short, I just got into the lake, got back here with about a minute to spare. So, and again, it's not trading related, but it's what draws me to trading. You want to talk about why did I sell my business and quote unquote retire, 10 years ago? It's because of that freedom of being able to spend that time with the family and be able to take him fishing and do all this stuff and still do what I love. And actually that goes into one of the resources. I like to bring you guys something interesting, something to read, something to do each week. And number one purchase I think you should make is Jim Rogers' Street Smarts. Okay. This is one of my favorite books. I talk about books a lot. About this thing 6 years ago. It's still on my shelf. I'm actually going to reread it. Why? I feel blessed, for lack of a better term, that I got to interview Jim this morning for the Steady Trade podcast. So keep an eye out for that in a couple weeks. I mean, this guy, man, first of all, not to get too fanboy, I don't want to look like some teenage girl that sees Justin Bieber, but I love this dude, admired him, respected him immensely for, 15, 20 years that I knew about him. Now he goes way back, okay, like way back, 40 plus years on Wall Street. I learned about him probably 15, 20 years ago when I started trying to learn trading. If you guys remember my bio, early 2000s, I started trying to learn, quote unquote, how to make money in the stock market. Okay, Google that, and you'll Google how to make money in the stock market in 2019. Good luck. It was bad enough in 2001. But anyway, I was watching a lot of financial media, watching CNBC, etc. Knew about Jim, and then bought this book 2013, right about when I retired, and went into full-time trading. Love the book. I read a ton of books and I give a lot of them away, but this one's still on my shelf 6 years later. Anyway, interview the guy, and dude, he's worth. Wikipedia says 300 million plus. I mean, plus or minus a million. Hey, what's a million here or there between friends? So I don't know, 300 million, 400 million, 500 million, 200 million. I don't know what the number is, but it's a freaking lot. And the reason I bring that up is nicest guy in the world. Please, I think the podcast will be out in a couple weeks. Ignore me, okay? Every time I talk during that podcast, mute it. Feel free to mute everything I say in that podcast, but listen to Jim. Wealth of information. I asked him, I was curious what he would say because I know a lot of the quote unquote old school guys, like Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett will bash day trading and he'll be like, nobody makes money in day trading. And I asked Jim about that. I'm like, hey, what do you think? And he said he knew one of the greatest day traders ever. And this is back in the 60s and 70s. I mean, they had computers, but they didn't have real-time data. I mean, this guy's reading the tape. And Jim's like, he was the best day trader I ever saw. He's like, if you're good at it, do it. And we talked a lot about passion, pursuing what you want to do. And I know I come on these weekly updates and I go on and on about how much I love the latest episode. But man, awesome. Buy the book. Listen to the episode. This guy's gone around the world. He went around the world on a freaking motorcycle. A motorcycle, okay? Then he got married, and then he took his wife around the world in a 2-seat Mercedes. So the only reason he didn't take a motorcycle again was because he had to have a seat for his wife. So great stuff. Check him out. Learn from him. Next updates. The trader and investor I gotta bring this up because it's not next week, week after next. If you like what I do, if you like these webinars, if you're a follower of Tim Sykes, Tim's a buddy of me, or a buddy of mine. Yeah, I'm sure there's an audio book of Street Smarts. I gotta believe there is. If there isn't, I would be shocked. I gotta believe there is. Street Smarts, Jim Rogers. Yep, audio. So Kindle, audio, paperback, so on. So anyway, I can share my screen in a minute, but just Google Street Smarts, Jim Rogers. There's an audio book on Audible. But so let me share my screen so that I can show you the game plan for the next couple of weeks. Got a lot going on, a lot of exciting stuff. So yeah, let me jump over there. Anyway, just Google Street Smarts, Jim Rogers, Kindle audiobook right there. Next thing I will drop in chat. Again, if you guys like what I do, want to learn more about StocksToTrade, again, if you're a fan of Tim Sykes, I mean, hey, Tim's a buddy of mine. Him and I will be at the Trader Expo in Chicago. It would be basically a week from or 2 weeks from today or yesterday, 21st to the 23rd. Click the link, go to the schedule. Him and I will be there. I mean, you can go there. We're doing a bunch. They keep us busy. Sykes, I mean, hey, Sykes and I aren't afraid to work. But anyway, so July 22nd, 1:30 to 2. And then 6 to 7, Sykes and I have the keynote, which is pretty cool. I can't lie. We did the keynote in New York. If any of you were there, it was fun. Hey, Tim and I love what we do. I mean, you talk about passion. When I talk about Jim Rogers and passion, I don't know if anybody's more passionate than Sykes and I. And New York City we had the keynote there, and it got a little wild. We were throwing stuff. I actually almost choked Tim. It was a good time. So anyway, July 22nd, 6 to 7 p.m. That's Central Time. You can also watch that live. So there is a live stream of that. And then the next day, I think it's just me. I think Tim is there on the 22nd, and then he probably flies off to Switzerland or wherever. And then I'm there on the 23rd. That being said, would love to meet any of you. The show is free, okay? Hit that link. It's Chicago. I've talked about this for a few weeks. You're probably sick of me talking about it. Chicago is freaking beautiful in the summer. Hey, I'm a Midwestern boy. I love the Midwest. I'm looking out my window right now. It's beautiful sunny day. My dog's laying in the yard. He's chilling in the sun. Nothing better than the Midwest in summer. Nothing better than Chicago in the summer. It's free. Check it out. Next, and then we'll get to stocks, I promise. But I got too much cool stuff for you guys. The Trader and Investor Summit. The page is finally ready. And let me drop this in chat. I tell you guys, obviously, you're going to be like, "Oh, Tim, you're biased." You work with Sykes, you work with StocksToTrade. Sykes is an investor in StocksToTrade. You're going to be like, "Tim, you're biased." Listen, when it comes to value in stock trading education, and this is, I know I'm on YouTube. Hopefully I don't get flagged. Cover the ears of the children if they're in the room. This is no bullshit, okay? This event in past years, I don't know the pricing. I'm guessing it's going to be the same. It's $300 for 3 freaking days. Wait, it's 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. Maybe it's 4 days. I don't know. It says it's 4 days. So I don't care if it's 3 or 4 days. In the past, it's been 3 days. It's been $299 if you buy early. Man, I am telling you, $100 a day to learn from Tim Grattani, Steven Dux, Roland Wolf, Matt Owens, Huddy, on and Sykes, on and Michael Good. The list goes on and on and on. And this is the biggest thing, and this is what I stress every year. The last couple years, I have done the opening statement and the closing statement, and then I do a lot of the introductions. The last, I think, 3 or 4 years, maybe longer. You get busy, the years blur together. But I open with this every single year, and if they have me open the event again, which I'm guessing they will, as long as I don't make them mad between now and September, I say this every freaking year, and it's true every year. The value is in the speakers. That's why you go to Orlando. But man, I always tell everybody, talk to the guy to the left, talk to the gal to the right, network. There's 800 aspiring, intermediate, and accomplished traders there. This year, I don't know. Maybe it's bigger. I don't know. Past years, it's been 800. And the amount of knowledge you can absorb from the speakers, but then the networking you can do, $100 a day. I mean, man, I live in a small town in rural Michigan, middle of nowhere, and it's not hard to spend $100 a day. Okay, I filled up my Tundra today. You know, I grabbed some stuff at the grocery store. I bought a coffee. I did nothing today. Stocks to Trade Pro. I did 3 webinars, recorded a podcast with Jim Rogers. I worked out, did some yard work, spent some time with the family. But my point is, I didn't go to dinner. I didn't travel. And I easily spent $100 today. Easily. And I'm in the middle of nowhere. If you're in a city, I don't even know what your budget is. Okay. So my point is, go to the Trader Investor Summit if you can. I mean, buy a freaking Allegiant, or a Spirit $99 ticket. Pay the $299, get a crappy motel. You're out $500 or $600, whatever that number is. You will get it back. So, and that being said, would love to see you in Orlando. Would love to see you in Chicago. And it's not that far away. September is not that far away. Check out the Trader Investor Summit. Check out the Money Show in Chicago. And let's look at some stocks, man. So much going on. CEI. How beautiful is low float mania? Number one, I'm going to start out with this. And I talk about this a lot on my social media and stuff. If you try and short these low float stocks, you are insane. You will be burned to death in hell if you try and short these stocks. Look to trade the momentum. Okay, so what I want to talk about is mostly CEI. It's done. Okay, I haven't looked at chat. CEI is dead for tomorrow. Okay, there's no play. So if you're looking for a trade for tomorrow, check out Stocks to Trade Pro. I'll be live. I'll be in chat. Here's the thing, guys. I'm in chat every single morning at 7 a.m. except for today. But Jim Rogers was in Singapore. I was fishing with my son till midnight. I had to get up at 3 a.m. to interview Jim Rogers, so I was not in chat this morning. But 99 out of 100 days, I'm in chat at 7 a.m. We're talking about stocks, and we were all over CEI. And so the idea was we ignored this in pre-market because the news was a little sketch. We talked about a 9:45 high of day break, which is probably my favorite pattern on something like CEI. So, here's the thing. We ignored this all pre-market into the open. And then the trade idea was, and let me get my notes. I mean, the proof is in the pudding, okay? The idea was a late day or midday high of day break, okay? I timestamp everything in chat, in the show notes, I call it. Every webinar I do is archived. You can watch them all immediately if you miss one in Stocks to Trade Pro. Let me get you a link. It is truly the most proud of anything I am other than my family. I've done over 1,500 webinars in 3 years. 1,500 webinars in 3 years. I do not miss a day, okay? I don't miss. I don't call in sick. Here's the thing. You want to learn trading hands-on? 3+ years. Never missed a webinar unless I was flying on an airplane, which airplane Wi-Fi sucks, short go-go, or I had some sort of family commitment or emergency. Family's first, okay? I love Stocks to Trade Pro. I love working with all the traders in Stocks to Trade Pro. It's a small group, but sorry, okay? Get mad at me if you want, but Mrs. Bohen and Tim Jr. and Mrs. Bowen Jr. come first. Okay. You guys, as much as I love this, as much as I love teaching, those three people come before you guys. Sorry. Okay. But that being said, 3 years, 1,500 webinars, never missed a day. Check out StocksToTrade Pro. So what we talked about was ignoring this because the merger news was a little sketch. We said wait for volume, wait for a high a day break, and then you can see right there at 9:55 a.m., which I talked about 9:45 a.m. If you follow Instagram, you'll hear if you follow these videos, you'll hear me say 9:45 and 2 p.m. so many times you will get sick of it. I joke, I tell people, I'm like, trigger warning, I'm about to say 9:45 and 2 p.m. Plug your ears. But 9:45, CEI broke the high a day, went from 350 to 5. I was there for an embarrassingly small amount of time. But you know what? I'll take 50 cents a share. Okay. 50 cents a share. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. 50 cents a share a day keeps the real job away. It's almost embarrassing to look at that exit at 4, but you know, as CEI proceed to go till 9:50 in the afternoon. But nevertheless, the idea is there. Went from 350 to 4. Huge candles, huge volume into that midday window. Then I think, now I didn't trade this late day setup, even though we talked about it for probably 30 plus minutes this morning. But here's the thing. I do tons of videos. I work with StocksToTrade. I mean, I'm making excuses. I get it. Okay. You're like, okay, Tim, why didn't you, you're going to tell me about this amazing 2 p.m. break and you didn't trade it. I got a lot of commitments, my friends. Okay. I was up at 3:30 a.m. this morning interviewing a billionaire. I've done I've done 2 webinars today. I recorded a 2-hour non-real-time webinar, and I'm here at 8 p.m. rocking it out with you guys. So I got some excuses. Nevertheless, I hate excuses. Let me get to a 5-minute chart. CEI, notice what happens at 2 p.m. Another high day break. Clear risk to reward. You could risk VWAP. You could risk a fail down in the 450s. But if you buy that high day break in the low 5s, maybe you risk, 30, 40, 50 cents a share. Listen, guys, if you just heard what I said risk 30, 40, 50 cents a share. If you're going to trade low floaters, you got to trade them small, okay? And you got to give them some range. If you're trying to trade CEI with a 10-cent stop, don't even bother. Now, you have to reduce your position size, okay? I'm not saying trade 50,000 shares of CEI and give it a 50-cent stop. It's not what I'm saying. But look at this thing. It spiked $4 or $5 a share in the afternoon. Size down. That's the great thing about these. I mean, geez, oh Pete's, think about it. Think about this. Hypotheticals. What if you had 100 shares of CEI at 540? Say you were late. Say 550. You're in at 550 with 100 shares, and you're risking 50 cents a share, which means you're risking, $50, and it spikes $4 or $5 a share, and you're making $400 or $500. That is freaking risk management. That is risk to reward. So I'm going to wrap up on this. Look for these low floaters every single day. Trade them small. Look for high day breaks. Give them range. And you don't need crazy size. Hey, I don't know how big your account is. Joe and Jane Smith here in chat. Maybe you got $1 million account. which, hey, if you're watching our YouTube videos and you got $1 million account, please drop me a line. I would love to meet you. But I'm guessing the majority of you got $500, $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 accounts. Hell, if you got a $5,000 account, you want to take 100 shares for $2, $3, $4, $5 a share in an hour? That increases your account by 10% in an afternoon. And here's the thing. Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. It drops 50 cents on you. You lose $50. If you want to be successful day trading, you have to be willing to risk $50 to make $300, $400, $500, maybe more. If you can't stick to losses, if you can't control your size, if you can't make intelligent trades, you're going to struggle, okay? You might succeed over time, but don't try and risk $1,000 to make $50. You want to risk 50 to make 1,000. That's your goal. So guys and gals, I always say, thank you. Thank you. I love doing these sessions every Tuesday night. I'm glad to be back on schedule. A lot going on, man. I didn't even get to the watch list. SPWR, ENPH, Snap. Go to StocksToTrade.com/watch list. I think 4 out of 5 of the stocks on the Sunday watch list are up right now. They're slow movers. Okay. The watch list stocks aren't crazy movers, but a lot of you guys and gals are part-time traders. The stocks we put on that watch list are perfect for you. Enphase, it's up like 50, 60 cents a share in 2 days. I mean, it's a $20 stock, but again, you got 100 shares, couple 100 shares with a small account with a very low risk stock. That's how you build an account. I hit my agenda. I'm running out of time. So thanks, everyone. Please buy Jim Rogers' Street Smarts. Please buy it. Please read it. Look into Jim. Would love to see you in Chicago in 2 weeks. If you go to Chicago, please say, hey, saw you on YouTube or whatever. And I'll corral Sykes and get him over there as well. It's free. It's a free show. You can't go wrong. And get on that early bird list for Orlando. Would love to see you there if you can't make Chicago. And that's a wrap, baby. Have a great night, everyone. Love doing these things. Love seeing you guys here every week. And I always kind of wrap up with this, but man, we live in an amazing time in history. Stay positive, man. The world is, it's really true. There's no more time in history, and I've read a lot of history, where you are more in charge of your destiny. If you're willing to read, listen to podcasts, watch webinars, review your trades, annotate charts, put your butt in the freaking seat. If you're willing to put in the work, it ain't easy, okay? There's more competition today than ever, okay? There's more opportunity than ever. The pie is bigger, but there's more people wanting in that pie, okay? 20 years ago, Asia, a lot of countries where they didn't have access to that opportunity that we had here, okay? Everybody, it's a global economy right now. Everybody wants a piece of that pie. But that being said, that pie is bigger than it's ever been. And the only thing separating the haves from the have-nots, in my opinion, you can argue. Feel free to argue. Say, you're full of it, Tim. But I think the only thing between you and the people that have it, it's work. It is. Okay. I'm a huge Gary Vaynerchuk fan, and you follow him on social, it's all the same shit. And I love Gary. I've met him. He's a great guy, but it's just grind, grind, grind. Show up every day. Put in the work. That's all it is, man. So you want to be one of them, one of the people that has freedom, has everything you want, or you want to be a whiny, pissing and moaning about how everything sucks. Your call, man. Have a great night, everyone. Would love to see you in StocksToTrade Pro. Would love to see you in Chicago. Would love to see you in Orlando. And if not, the internet's always here, and I'll see you next Tuesday night.